second sponsor and supporter briefing of this awards cycle. Mainly what I'm going to go through today is giving you an update on entries and where we are now, and also for sponsors who are category sponsors who are going to be taking on the judging. I'll be giving you a bit of an overview of timescales, processes and so on for that. So that's what we're going to go through today, and then you'll have a chance to ask any questions you would like to know about things. So I am going to just share a few slides with you now. Hopefully folks can see that. Yeah, nods. Thanks, Laureen. I can see that's good. So yeah, that's what we're going to cover today. Just before we get started on the awards, I just wanted to give you a brief update because we've had quite a few changes in terms of Oxlep, and some people will be aware of this and some won't. So just to bring you up to speed, Oxlep, as of April last year, has actually become an Oxfordshire County Council owned company. So we still exist as an independent limited company, but we only have one director now, which is Oxfordshire County Council. So you may see signatures and things like that with that detailed on it. Also, as part of that, from the 1st of April, we're going to be rebranding to Enterprise Oxfordshire. So as I'm sure you're aware, local enterprise partnerships actually phased out a little while ago. So we've managed to keep going for quite a long time under the name of Oxlep. But with this change in ownership, the County Council have asked us to move to a new name, which again makes sense with the wider landscape. So we are going to be called Enterprise Oxfordshire. So when the awards evening happens, that transition will have taken place. So we'll no longer be called Oxlep, we'll be called Enterprise Oxfordshire. So I just thought it'd be worth just letting you know about that. You'll see some comms coming out across our channels in the coming weeks anyway, in the run up to that. But as of the 1st of April, you'll see a change there. The other thing to let you know about is many of you will know Sally, our Skills Hub manager, who was leading the awards with me last year. Sally has actually left her post now. She's moved on to new pastures, so she won't be joining us in this phase of the awards. So she asked me to send her best wishes and thanks to all the sponsors, new and I was going to say old, sounds a bit rude, and sponsors that have been with us for many years, because your support has been very valued by me and by Sally. So I just wanted to pass that on and let you know that she won't be here. Sarah Marlowe, who many of you know, is our current interim Skills Hub lead. So she'll be joining us probably at the next meeting. It's sort of worth just letting you know about that, so you know where we are at the moment with things. So onto the awards. So we closed the awards at midnight on Monday in the evening, left it a week after National Apprenticeship Week to give people a week to get their entries done and in, and also a day on Monday because people were on half-term holiday. So that was really helpful. Lots of entries came in on Monday, and brilliant news is that we've had the most entries we've ever had this year, which is brilliant. We've got 74 different individual apprentices represented across those awards, 35 employers and 26 different providers. So a good variety of entrants, businesses, companies, organisations and providers, which is brilliant. Some of those individuals are eligible for more than one category. So what you might find is that, say, for example, somebody's been entered in the Higher Apprentice Award. It may be that they've previously completed level 2 or 3 apprenticeships in the past, and therefore might also be eligible for the Shining Star category. For category judges, I will be just sending you the ones for your category, but if you do see somebody with a slightly different form, that will be why, and I'll explain that when you get them across. So across the board, brilliant results, lots of people entered, which is great, lots of interest, and just want to say thank you so much for all your support as sponsors and supporters, and also everything you did to share the opportunity to enter and nominate across your channels. It really helps us to reach more people and get a wider breadth of entries, which is brilliant. So starting off with some really good news there, that we've been got enough entries in all categories and have been able to close and progress on to the next stage. In terms of comms, I think it's been really successful in terms of raising awareness about the awards and about you guys as sponsors and supporters as well. So since the awards launched in November, I've been doing weekly Oxfordshire Apprenticeship Hour features across our social media, particularly focusing on the categories and the sponsors of the categories to raise awareness of the individual opportunities for each category, and also tagging in everybody who sponsors and supports as well. So hopefully you've seen some tags for your organisations across those months. Also did a really big push in National Apprenticeship Week, particularly Celebration Friday. So I was doing a post every 5 minutes throughout the entire day across all our channels, which is Oxfordshire Apprenticeships and Oxlep Skills. We have X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and even TikTok. So we had a really big push during National Apprenticeship Week, which raised lots of awareness. So in terms of the Oxlep website, which is where the awards page is located, we had over 2,100 views to that web page. It's difficult to judge that in terms of how successful that is, but our homepage, the Oxlep Skills homepage, had 1,390 views in that time. So you can see that actually a lot more people went to the web page than generally visit the Oxlep Skills website in that time. So I was really pleased to see that, because it showed that people were finding out about the awards, were interested, were clicking on the page, and hopefully that went through to lots of entries, which we can see did happen. On LinkedIn, which is probably our kind of most used channel, most successful channel for this, I did 217 posts across the time that the awards were open, and we had over almost 29,000 impressions, almost 10,000 people viewed, 9,900 people viewed our videos that we shared, and almost, getting on towards 1,000 people clicked on those posts. So, and over 19,000 people viewed our TikTok videos. So I think in terms of raising awareness about the awards and about you guys as sponsors, obviously you never know exactly who those people are and what they did, but we can see that awareness was raised, and that's translated into entries and clicks, which is brilliant. So I was really pleased when I did the analytics on that to see that happening. So onto the awards timeline. So as I say, the awards closed on Monday evening. So what happens next? Obviously today is the 26th. We're having the briefing today, and this is just to fill you in about these timescales and processes. What will happen then is, once I've sent the category entries, so each category sponsor will receive the entries for their category. That will be either later today or tomorrow. I'll send those across to you with some paperwork, which I'll show you in a second, to help you with the judging. The deadline for the judging is the 11th of April. So you've got a little bit of time, as long as possible, really, to allow you to do that. And then we would like you to feedback your decision on your winner and your two highly commended entrants to the skills email address or to me by the 11th of April. And then if you're sponsoring an Apprentice of the Year category, so intermediate, advanced, higher, special recognition or rising star, we will also ask you to send some feedback on your category winner to Danny and the Hill Group, who are our headline sponsor this year, because it will be the Hill's responsibility then to choose the overall Apprentice of the Year from the 5 apprentice categories. And obviously Danny and Hill, as the headline sponsor, won't be carrying out this part of the judging, so would appreciate your input as judges as to why your apprentice was chosen, what it was about them that made them stand out, and why they're your winner, so that that can help them with the decision about the overall Apprentice of the Year. So that's for those Apprentice of the Year category sponsors. And then on the 22nd of April, the awards committee, and we'll work with Danny and Hill on this, to have the judging meeting where we will ratify those decisions, just double check that we're happy everybody is in the right category, everybody's eligible, and then we'll be able to confirm the finalists. And then we plan to announce the finalists on the 24th of April, which is a Thursday. That will be during Oxfordshire Apprenticeships Hour. So at 1 o'clock across our social media channels, we will announce the 3 finalists in each category across social media. So in the time before that, I will be letting everybody who's entered know, including people who have not successful. In fact, it's most important that they are aware, so that when the announcements are public, everybody knows whether they have or haven't made it through to the final before that becomes public. If an individual hasn't made it through to the final 3, obviously some of the categories, there's lots and lots of fantastic people, but not everybody can make it through. I will send them a certificate of recognition so that they have something to record on their portfolio, and to recognise that, you know, it's an incredible achievement to be entered, or particularly to be nominated in the awards, and not everybody can make the final 3. So we want to make sure that those people who aren't successful don't feel as though they're, you know, they've lost in some way, because actually they're it's all winners really to have been recognised in that way. So we want to make sure that that happens before the announcements go live. And then on the 22nd of May, it gives people sort of just about a month to for finalists to book in and be ready for the celebration evening, which will take place on Thursday, the 22nd of May at Blenheim Palace. As I mentioned last time, if you were there, Blenheim have donated the use of the Long Library in the Great Hall for us, which is lovely, fantastic location, very iconic buildings, which will be a lovely setting for our awards. For sponsors, we will invite you to come along about half an hour before everybody else arrives. That will be a chance for us to give you a briefing on what's happening on the evening and kind of a run through of where you need to stand, where you're sitting, that kind of thing, so you know what's going to be happening before everybody arrives. I will also arrange another one of these briefings in the run up to the celebration evening to give you an update like this, so that you're aware of what's going to happen on the night as well, because I appreciate half an hour's not very long, and with the traffic as it is, you never know what time you'll arrive. So I'll make sure that everybody's fully briefed on the awards evening before that as well. And then the guests will be arriving from 6:30. There'll be a drinks reception first in the Great Hall, and we'll be able to do tours of the staterooms as well as part of that, which I think is really nice. Sometimes, especially for apprentices that have not attended something like this before, it can feel quite awkward when you turn up and you don't quite know what to do with yourself. So you can grab a drink, have a look round the staterooms, and kind of get settled in at Blenheim. So I think it should be a really nice start to the evening. And then at round about 7:30, we'll go through to the Long Library when the celebration evening will happen. So I'll give you a full breakdown of that nearer the time, but it's just to give you an idea of the dates at this stage. For category judges, a little bit of information about the judging process. So as I say, I'll be sending you across your entries for your category in the next day or so. I will be sending you some forms to accompany that. So there'll be a meeting form. So we encourage you where possible to either meet or speak to as many entrants as you can. When you see the forms, they do vary. Some companies or organisations have got PR departments, or have the apprentices themselves maybe have access to or ability to or time to write more detailed entries than others. You might see some that don't look as good, but it could just be that apprentice hasn't had the support or the time to write quite such a detailed entry as others. So if you are able to speak to them, it helps to put a name to a face and to hear their side of the story rather than just seeing it on paper. Appreciate that isn't always possible. Some of the categories are quite large and you may not have time to see everybody, so you'll have to do a shortlist first. But if you see someone and there's something about them, it's worth having a chat if you can, just to give you that sort of a fuller picture. When you're contacting particularly apprentices, I would ask, I'll send you the information, but if you could please copy their employer when you contact them via email, just so they're aware. It might be that they need to take half an hour out of work to speak with you. And then at least their employer, and they will have entered them, so they know that this is in progress, but keep them in the loop as well. And also, if the apprentice is somebody who's not at their desk very often, it might be that they don't see an email straight away, then the employer could say, oh, you need to have a look at your emails. You've got a sponsor contacting you for a conversation. Some of the apprentices obviously are out about in the field rather than at the desk, so just bear that in mind if you don't hear from someone. If you are having any difficulties throughout the process, if you're struggling to get hold of anybody, if you're struggling to shortlist, let us know. We can help. We've got some very experienced and competent people on our committee who are very happy to help if you have difficulties making decisions or you're struggling with anything. Oxlep, obviously, we convene the awards and we carry out all the organisation and that kind of thing, but we're not involved in the judging, and I think that's quite important, that we stay removed from the process, but we do have people who can help you. So if you need any support, let us know. It's obviously important that we get this bit done to keep to time, and it's amazing how that 5-6 weeks can disappear, so give us a shout if you need any help. This is what the paperwork that you'll receive looks like. So it's a way of recording any conversations or analysis that you're doing on the entries, a bit like you would for an interview, really, just to give a kind of a way of of scoring so that you can choose between entrants. It can be difficult when you're judging people who are doing very different types of roles, to try and pick out what it is about that person that makes them shine above another. So it includes things like, has the person gone the extra mile? They may be an absolutely brilliant apprentice, but so are they all. So what is it that makes that person stand out? Same with employers. Are they doing something extra for their apprentices? Are they doing more to encourage future apprentices, for example? So those questions are designed to try and help you to pick out what it is about the different individuals and businesses that make them your winner, as opposed to the others in the category. So that's to try and help you with that and give you a chance to kind of record any comments. The meeting forms mirror the score sheets. So if you are able to meet somebody and you have a conversation, you can write down some notes to help you when you have that discussion around making your decision. So it's just to collect any further evidence that the person can give you in the meeting. Obviously, there are word counts on the forms. Some people have even sent in extra information, extra statements, which I wasn't able to include because obviously that then takes them above the word count, which isn't fair on the others. So it might be that they've got more information they can share with you, and can do that if they choose to then meet with you and have that discussion. So that's what that is about. So you'll be receiving those to help you with this process and your decision. So once we get to that point at which we have the judging meeting and the entries are confirmed, at that point, I can contact the entries for you. We've talked again about, is it better for sponsors to speak to people? Is it better for Oxlep to do that? And we decided that it's probably safer and fairer for Oxlep to do that on behalf of all the judges. And that just guarantees that everybody has found out about whether they are or aren't finalists at the same time. So if I could ask you not to contact anybody and let them know the outcome until after the 22nd of April. Once we've done that, obviously you're very welcome to contact your entrants. Some people like to contact the successful ones and say, congratulations, brilliant, well done. Some people also like to contact the ones that weren't successful, as I said earlier, and reinforce that they have been successful to a certain extent in the fact they've been entered or nominated anyway, and give any feedback you might like to do. So we just want to make sure that everybody knows before anything is made public. And as I said, unsuccessful entrants will receive a certificate just to say, well done for getting this far. I will also offer the opportunity for particularly apprentices, but also employers to work with us. It might be that they're interested in becoming an apprenticeship ambassador, so representing their company, their industry, their apprenticeship as an ambassador, coming and visiting students in schools. And that's often a way that people feel appreciated and recognised, that they've been enrolled onto our ambassador scheme to then continue the great work promoting what they do. Or it might be that there's a brilliant case study in there of somebody who's perhaps a career changer, perhaps a business that's taken on an apprentice for the first time. So there's opportunities that we can work with the entrants to make sure that we use their brilliant stories as much as possible. And then finally, just an ask for category sponsors to make sure that afterwards, once you've done all your judging, just destroy any of the paperwork. It does have some personal information in it, obviously about the person's story, contact details and so on. So we just ask you to make sure that that's all destroyed or deleted once you're finished the process. And I'll remind you about that again. Obviously, that's a little bit further down the line. A little bit more about the awards evening. So as I said, that will be the 22nd of May. We've often wondered about dress code. I think it would be lovely to sort of get all dressed up in our black tie and posh frocks and so on. But I think over years we've decided that it's probably better to stay with something that's smart but not black tie. It puts extra pressure on people if they don't own that kind of attire, or cost potentially if people have to hire things. And we don't want people to feel uncomfortable or excluded if that's something they would rather not do. So we'll kind of keep it a bit vague and say smart. People can wear, if they want to buy a new frock and get dressed up, then that's fine, but they may feel more comfortable just wearing something that they feel that is smart but appropriate. So we're not going to go too full out on that. As I said, we'll invite you to attend a little bit earlier so we can get some nice photos and give you a bit of a briefing ahead of the guests arriving. When it comes to the evening, we'll ask category sponsors to come on stage, announce their 3 finalists and then their winner. and the two highly commended. So I'll be contacting you to ask you to let me know who will be presenting on your behalf, and also to book your tickets. So all sponsors will get 2 tickets to come to the event. That's sponsors and supporters, and I'll share the link with you after this meeting so that you can start getting those booked in. We often get asked about if there's any extra tickets. We're quite limited. We're limited to 180 guests on the evening, and with sponsors, finalists, and their guests, we're already up to about 160. So it's quite tight in terms of numbers. But I will, if you have any requests for extra tickets, let me know. Sometimes people can't come on the night, or it might be that we have some spare. So I'll keep a waiting list and let you know if there are any available. So yeah, let me know if you'd like more, and it might be a last minute thing, but it might be that more people can attend. But we like to give finalists 2 tickets and plus themselves, so all finalists can bring mum and dad, partner, somebody from work. So that obviously is the majority of the tickets, and I think you'll agree they're the most important people to be there. Any other guests will say, let's see how we do, and we'll let you come if you can, but you will get 2 tickets per sponsor. Also, what I'll be asking from you is a short summary of your organisation for the brochure. This is last year's. I have that already from all of you because you've all kindly given me a profile of your organisation, which is on our website already. So what I will do is shorten that and then just send it back to you to double check and make sure you're happy with the shortened version for the brochure, and I'll get you to do that sort of towards the end of March, so you'll be seeing that coming from me fairly soon as well. That's available. We'll get that printed, kindly donated by the university. They do our design and print for us free of charge as their kind of sponsorship, which is brilliant. So you will get a printed copy on the evening, and all then attendees can take one home with them. So that will be coming your way as well fairly soon. So a quick reminder of the actions that we've covered. The first one is to arrange payment for sponsorship if you haven't yet. Again, I'll follow up with anyone that is still outstanding. It might be that we need to send you an invoice or whatever, so I'll follow that up with you. We're starting to then have to spend money, so need to make sure we've got the money to spend. So I'll be following that up with you. Agree your draft text. And again, I think I've got logos from everybody, but I'll ask you to agree that by the 21st of March. Category sponsors, send us your 3 finalists and a reserve by the 11th of April. And then we'd ask for you to support the announcements on the 24th of April. So again, making sure I'll tag you in, tag your organisations in, but if you could support that and give a really big well done to those finalists on the 24th of April, that would be great. And then by the 1st of May, if you could let me know who will be attending on the night. Again, the link's there for you to book on Eventbrite, who will be presenting, and if you wanted to have a reserve just in case that person's not well on the night. Obviously, over the COVID years, we've had a lot of changing around what was going to happen and who could attend on the night. So we've tried to put in contingencies just in case, and then booking your tickets so that we know who's coming would be really helpful as well. So that's your actions from now on. As I said, we've got some amazing committee. Sarah, who hosted the awards last year and is hosting again this year with Simon from Dark and Taylor, and also Tanya, are very happy to have an independent conversation with you if you would like to discuss anything around the judging, if you're having a difficulty making a decision. They have both been committee members, sponsors of this and other awards, and so feel your pain when you're trying to choose between fantastic entrants to make a decision about a brilliant employer or an amazing apprentice. So I can put you in touch with Sarah and or Tanya if you would like some advice and support around the judging. Just let me know. In fact, I've got their email addresses there, which I'll share these slides with you. So if you want to reach out to them and have a conversation, please do. If you have any other questions about judging, about anything to do with the awards, about your role as a sponsor or supporter, obviously you know where I am. Give me a shout, drop me an email, and I'm happy to help. Please do let me know. So I think that is it from me. So I will stop sharing and then I can see you all again, because I couldn't see you behind that. Does that make sense to everybody? And does anybody have any questions about anything or any of that? There's a few shaking heads, which is good. Hopefully that's about the questions, not about the making sense bit. Is that all right for everyone?
I think you've covered everything, Mel. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Thanks, Shirley.
Yeah, very clear. Thanks, Melanie.
Good stuff. And I know, many of you have done this before, and thank you for returning. And for those that haven't, thank you for joining. But hopefully that's all, sounds as though it's all clear. So that's good. We can call it a day there then. I'll give you 50. Oh, Shirley's got a question.
Just one quick question. Last time we did it, we went out and actually interviewed all the people in our category, which was fantastic. Is that now an expectation, or are Zoom meetings more of an expectation now?
Yeah, I would say either is fine, Shirley. But I think we given the changes in the way we do things these days compared to what we have in the past, we're happy for Zoom calls, Teams meetings, or even a phone call if you're not able to get, as I say, not all apprentices are at their computers. So if you're able to make contact in any way and have a conversation, brilliant. Face-to-face meeting is the best. But obviously we appreciate people's time is very precious, and you just might not have time to arrange that, let alone do that. But yeah, so a call is perfectly acceptable. Great stuff. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time to attend. I will share the slides and recording with you so that you can send them on to any colleagues. And I'll be sending your forms for those category sponsors that are here, sending those on in the next day, or well, today or tomorrow. And when they come through, give me a shout if you have any questions about anything. And I will send you a date in sort of early to mid-May when we have another quick catch up ahead of the awards evening. So we can all just again give you a briefing on what to expect for that. But that's it for today, I think. Thank you all.
Thanks, Mel.
Have a good rest of the day. Stay dry and warm.
Bye.
And see you soon.
Thanks, Mel. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.